we'll move on to the next person. So Lily, maybe we can start with the woman who's right next to you. And if you can please say your name.
Hi, my name is Fong Hertzberg, and I'm wondering, so despite everyone's concerns and protests, is this still going to happen? So the point of these meetings is just to hear us and then go through with this anyway, despite the fact that the majority of the people in this neighborhood don't want this to happen. Is this true?
And I forgot to mention that for the Q&A, we'll be taking the comment. And I don't want to take up your time, but to answer your question very quickly, it is not a done deal. It still has to be approved by the Board of Supervisors and the City Council. Next.
Answer the question.
I did answer the question, folks. The decision has not been made. The decision has not been made. Yes, your consideration will be taken, your comments will be taken into consideration. We will be sharing that with our elected officials. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, my name is Daniel Young. I live in Santa Clara. I have a couple of questions. First question he asked about the homeless shelter don't have the impact for the houses. I just immediately searched in the Google. I found a lot of message talking about if the homeless shelter, 500 feet close to the homeless shelter, it will be 6% lower than the shelter 500 feet to 1,000 feet. So you can Google it and you will immediately find that impact. And the second question is, you mentioned about you have the Half Moon Bay side and Mountain View side for the homeless income shelter. What kind of the income shelter? Is it the same as here? Because here, the Santa Clara, that one is for the mental illness and also for the job. Is it the same? What are the impacts for this site? Do we have any history about the site impact in the community? The third question is this the only place in Santa Clara can build the homeless shelter right now? Is this the only place? Why you choose this place for the homeless shelter?
Thank you, sir. Before we proceed, we are here for you. I'm happy to answer the questions along with my colleagues. That will take more of your time speaking up. So if you would prefer that we answer the question, please raise your hand. The majority of you would like to speak. We're going to take your questions. We're going to allow you to speak because that's why you're here tonight. So just want to show you all voted that you want to hear what each other has to say. Lily, if we can start to make our way to the front and work the room a little bit. Yes, we are taking notes. Hillary on my team is down here taking your questions. We will be posting them on the website. Go ahead, Lily.
I'm John Chin, and I've lived in the area since 2005. I'm actually, I worked next door to Heather's facility in Mountain View. I have some experience with that, and I think if you want to see the impact of that, you should go to Leghorn Street, walk down the street around dusk, and see for yourself what it's like. It's a very nice facility. I agree that there should be something done for the homeless, but at the same time, the business that was next door to them had to hire security that was on site all the time. I had a trailer parked behind the building. There was constantly bottles back there. There were inappropriate things being done behind the building, and this never occurred. I worked there since 2013. This never was a problem until the shelter went in. My second issue is the fact that we would not be here at this meeting unless our neighbors went door to door and told us that this was happening. You guys did nothing.
Go ahead. If you all just be mindful that we are in the church facility and that you We will continue to time you.
Hi, my name is Elisa. I live in this neighborhood and I'm very in favor of this proposal. As a community and just as people who exist, we should be wanting to make the world better even if it doesn't relate to us.
Sir, please. Everybody, I understand you want to say your piece. Please, we're going to start your time over. Folks, we do not want to end the meeting because we're not allowing each other to speak. We will absolutely end the meeting if people are not being respectful. Please give us a little grace to work the room, or if you want to line up, please make 2 lines here and we will take you in order. We'll do 1 minute each. Stand behind her. Lily, will you allow her to finish her comment? And then sir in the red, if you'd like to line up. Go ahead, please. We'll start over. 1 minute.
As a community and just as people who exist, we should be wanting to make the world better even if it doesn't relate directly to us. But for this project, I actually relate to it quite a lot. I have a lot in common with the people who would benefit. I have multiple chronic illnesses, I'm on Medi-Cal and SNAP, I have mental health conditions, and I've lived in 8 different places across 4 states in the last 5 years. So much of what others are worried about coming to the neighborhood is already here. The only difference between me and those who would be using the facility is that I have the privilege of a family that was able to help support me. Potential residents of this building would be no more of a threat to you and your families than I am. And honestly, regardless of how you relate or not, we are all much closer to being homeless than we will ever be to being billionaires. People who would use this facility are not scary people. They are not criminals. They are just people who don't have a house. And they likely have already been let down by everyone around them. Just the fact that a person has taken the steps to get into this facility where they can find support means that they are trying to take better steps.
Hold the mic for me. Okay, my name's Lance Jacobs, and it's great to see all my neighbors here. I would just love to hear from everyone together, like, we are totally against this. Yes? I can hear our voices together too. So, I want to comment on a couple of things. Yes, against the location. And you make a very good point. Yep, that's what my sign says, actually. So I'm going to make this quick, really just some short bullet points. As far as I can tell, this is fully biased. All we've heard from them, that like how unbiased it is, but if you look at all of these people that are here, they're telling us how great it is. If it's so unbiased, why don't you bring in professionals that tell us how ungreat it will be? It's biased. I work in sales, and I know salesmanship when I see it. And it's great that you're a PhD, but you're a great seller too, I can see it. I'd be curious to see what the commission looks like for this thing that's done. The other thing is you don't need a PhD to be homeless, or to understand homelessness. I worked in San Francisco for 3 years, and I saw exactly what it was about.
My name is Faro. I live in the area for 34 years. I have 3 close friends who help the homeless. They were like this lady wanted to help them, and all 3 fed them, housed them. All 3 of them were murdered brutally by the same people they helped. My sister lives in a low-income housing near here. You guys have put, it's a county housing. You have put somebody's homeless there. She's afraid of coming out of her room. She said they are dirty. They mess up. They go through their mail, and somebody walked in front of her and urinated outside the door. So this is the kind of person you want to bring over. Please do not bring them. There are places right by 237 and Lawrence Expressway that county owns. Why don't you put them there? It's a lot of lots, a lot of space. You can put thousands of them right there.
Hi, my name is Sarah Foad. I have lived in Sunnyvale for 20 plus years, and I recently bought a house on Benton Street 2 years ago. Frankly, I am a bit horrified at the reaction that has been going on today. I am in support of this housing facility, and I share concerns about the safety of the area. I think the two don't have to be mutually exclusive. And ultimately, I think the concern about the increased presence of unhoused people is valid. And I think there are ways, and I'm curious about the countermeasures that might be implemented to address some of those things when they come up. But ultimately, I just want to say that it's a privilege for us to be able to have this decision about whether homeless people get a place to live. And again, I'm shocked and horrified at some of the things that have been said and shared today as a member of this community.
Hi, my name is Vishal. I represent the Save Our Neighborhood group, and I live right in front of the proposed site. Now let me share you some facts. First of all, thank you for enlightening us with the political process, because we have been lied that you are up against the bigger power, city council cannot do anything. Now we know which trees to bark. Anyways, we visited 3 life moves facilities, 2 in San Jose, 1 in Mountain View. None of them are full. None of them are full. Okay? Wow. Life move facilities takes families, right? Mountain View facilities takes families. Why not this facility? Right? Take my question, please. Why this facility is only for the male adults and the couples who can be drug addicts, who can be sex offenders, who can be mentally ill, and my kids play in the community right behind 7-Eleven. We are not gated. We are not gated, right? Second thing I want to ask, in the Mountain View facilities, area for families is protected. Hey, why only us find out? Why not the people who say, 1 minute is not over, I took 1 seconds. Right?
1 minute.
Area for families is protected by locked gates and fences, and sex offenders are not allowed in this site. Right? You don't take families here because you don't have a way to separate the area.
Hi, my name is John Sanchez. My wife and I, we live right behind the facility off on Golden State. I think a lot of people were upset because when you guys put the flyer out, it was like days before the meeting. And it seemed like you guys had no plan, you didn't do any research, because anybody can Google how many, and the fact that you guys can't answer how many schools are in the area. There's a drip liquor store right across the street from this proposed site. My brother's homeless, my sister's homeless, and it's due to drugs, it's due to mental illness. I have a daughter that I want to protect, and the other gentleman's correct. We don't need to talk to these people, we need to go to City Hall, because obviously they're the ones going to make the decision, and that's what we do as a whole. I don't think it's really going to work, because they're not even answering our questions. And why are we here if they're not going to do that? So thank you.
Hi, my name is Wilma Cadorna. I live in Coon Ridge and Tracy. And first of all, I want to thank our police force. They do a wonderful job. I'd like to suggest that tomorrow you have these probably printed. I know it's accessible to the website, but I think it's better when people are looking at them that it's printed and given out to people. And secondly, is there a Board of Supervisor hearing regarding whether this should be built or not? We need to know that the community should be given a flyer ahead of time, that there's a hearing, what time, what date, so we could be prepared. Now, first I want to say, we talk about homelessness as a generic one population, and it's not. Do we even have a database of people that are homeless, and on what reason, on what basis? And really, it's a gamut of mental health categories, and I applaud you. There are very people like her who pulls herself together who need this facility. I don't really need to know how nice the facility is. What I need to know is, when you say decrease in homeless population, where did they go? The people that you service, did they go back to the street? I understand, 1 minute is not up, give me 1 more minute. I understand. But first of all, I think there has to be an analysis before we say that it's gonna be safe.
Hello, my name is Anna. I live here more than 10 years, and I want to share just a very short story here. I often take my kids to cross the street to the park to play tennis, and sometimes they see like the homeless people go around, and my 6-year-old little girl will ask me, "Mom, what are they doing? Why they're watching me? Why they walk around? I feel so scared. I don't know what should I do. I cannot play. Mom, what should I do?" I just feel I feel so sad. Sometimes I say, you are safe. But my 6-year-old girl, she cannot understand. If you have a girl 6-year-old asking you, because I think you are all parents, say, I cannot play because they are watching me. I don't know what they're doing. They're wandering around. I mean, I cannot imagine in the future if there's so many like homeless wandering around and my kids cannot use the park anymore for tennis.